Hello, everybody. Today we continue our lections. Today's topic is political culture and ideology and liberalism. Today we will see some questions, among them political consciousness, political culture and ideology. Second, concept of ideology. Third, the most influential modern ideologies. And finally, basic principles of liberalism. Every person and every society strives to understand the surrounding social reality. This is how public consciousness is formed. When we better understand political processes and events, and more people understand this, then we have higher level of citizens' political culture, as well as of whole society. High political culture leads to the fact citizens are able to develop such rules and procedures in the inevitable struggle for power, which the majority agrees with, and they become an understandable law for everyone. It is necessary to explain how the term ideology appeared and what its meaning is in our time. The term first appeared at the end of 18th century in France, when during the French Revolution, French philosopher Antoine de Tracy, at that time he was supporter of Napoleon, wrote a book about the new science of ideology, which became popular. However, after the Tracy began to criticize the policies of the idol, Napoleon ridiculed his ideology. Since then, ideology has ceased to be associated with science. It is now believed that the claims of a particular ideology may be justified in the future, but they may also turn out to be wrong. Most influential political ideologies of our time. About 100 years ago, in several European countries, the ruling forces declared that their ideologies to be the only correct and dominant ones. The ideologies were persecuted and banned. This happened in Russia, 1917, communist ideology. Italy, in 1920s, fascist ideology, and in Germany, 1930s, Nazi ideology. The democratic countries, no dominant ideology is recognized. There is a pluralism of ideologies. At present, among the different ideologies, the most widespread are liberalism, conservatism, socialism, and nationalism. What about basic principles of ideology, liberalism, liberalism ideology? Modern political ideologies were start from at the time of the French and American revolutions. This means that they have at least a 20th century history. The term liberalism comes from the Latin liberalis, which means free. Liberalism usually associated with reliance of the power of reason, knowledge, and science, and the desire to unlimited progress and free market economics. It based on freedom and democracy with broad civil liberties and political rights. Therefore, it's believed that liberal principles are shared primarily by the entire educated part of society, including students, of course. There are now some ideas of famous thinkers on liberalism. For example, Jose Ortega y Gasset, Spanish philosopher, said, liberalism is the highest expression of generosity. It is the right that the majority grants to the minority. The call for liberalism is the noblest call of civilization that has ever sounded of the planet. It means peaceful coexistence with the enemy. Moreover, it means coexistence with the weak enemy. Liberalism is principle according to which power seeks to leave the field to those who think and feel differently. Friedrich von Hayek said, the fundamental principle of liberalism is that we should rely as much as possible of the spontaneous forces of society and resort to cohesion as little as possible. The state must limit itself to developing general rules, leaving individuals free in everything that is related to the circumstances of place and time. It would be right to see money as the greater instrument of freedom ever invented by man, said Friedrich Hayek. He continued, the desire for absolute security offer not only fails to increase the chances of freedom, but become a serious threat to it. In order to reduce the concentration of absolute power, it must be dispersed and decentralized. The English themselves do not know how much they differ from other nations in that all, regardless of party, to one degree or another, share the ideas which in their clearest and most complete formulation are known under the name of liberalism. Milton Friedman, another thinker, said, the liberal accepts free discussion and voluntary cooperation. It means, he therefore considers cohesion to be an inadequate means. The ideal for him is anonymity, the general agreement of free people with a sense of responsibility. In practice, we are forced, in the interests of the cause, to proceed from the will of the majority. The role of government is to do what the market cannot do on its own. Define the rules of the game. Define the rules of the game. Arbitrate on them and ensure that they are followed. Ensure that they are followed. John Dos Passos, American writer and thinker, said these ideas. A free society is never perfect. Only absolute tyranny can be perfect. Louis Hartz, American writer, America has jumped over feudalism stage, as Russia probably skipped the liberal stage. Given the totalitarian nature of the Russian socialism, the hope of the free world is, of course, linked to the moral power of American liberalism. It is some ideas of representatives of the ideology of liberalism in nowadays. Thank you. We can continue next time. Bye.